Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Great to see so many people here this morning. Welcome to the 2017 FFB Referee Seminar. For those of you who haven't met me before, I'm Luke Brennan. I'm the Referees Manager here at FFB. And it's great to see so many people who have taken the time out of their day and out of their season to come and join us this morning. Particularly those of our early staff from regional Victoria. It's great to see you guys here as well. And I also want to pay a special mention too to some of our FFB clubs who have joined us for the first time today. So 20 of our FFB clubs who are with us today, welcome to you guys. It's great to see you here as well. We have an exciting day planned today, full of some interesting presenters that are really going to give you some great knowledge on aspects of the laws of the game. This year we have the biggest change in 130 years to the laws of the game. And it's important that you guys walk away today knowing those changes and feel confident in taking those out of the park when you step out there. For some of you, it'll begin next weekend in the NPL2 if it kicks off. And for others, it'll be a little bit later on once the State League and Junior seasons begin as well. So regardless, there's a great opportunity to learn today. We encourage you to do that as well. We have a good mix of presenters that are going to talk about the laws of the game. And also some different aspects involved in football as well. We look forward to hearing from those people. A couple of housekeeping issues. Someone mentioned to me before about a fines jar for people who have mobile phones on. If you're not at the moment, we're not going to fine anyone today or give any burpees or push-ups or anything like that. If you guys wouldn't mind just making sure your phones are turned off today. And second of all too, there is toilets located outside the exit of the theatre down the ground floor here around to your right in the corridor, men's and women's left and right. If needed, just for evacuation and if there's anything like that happening, we hope it doesn't. Of course, exits are via the walkway here, down just outside this side, where it might be come in on this side as well, or out through the bottom entry. Okay, well, what I'd like to do now, I'd like to welcome two important people to welcome us to the seminar today. First of all, I'd like to call up our FFB President, Kimon Taliadoris. Many of you guys may know Kimon. He's been previously a professional footballer, also a former Socceroo, and he's also been out in the park blowing a whistle in the last couple of years as well as one of our level 4 referees. So Kimon, welcome to you this morning. I'd also like to come on Kimon will be Maxwell Grattan. Maxwell, for many of you, will be a familiar face. Maxwell, it's great to have you back as well as our new Chief Executive Officer. I know Maxwell was here quite a few years ago. 3 years ago, there you go. 3 years ago he was at our seminar, so it's good to have him back now as our Chief Executive Officer. Kimon, I'd welcome you to come forward and say a few words.
That's all good. I love the mood lighting. On behalf of the FFB Board, management and staff, I'd like to acknowledge and pay respects to the traditional custodians of the land on which we congregate today, but also the 900 pitches and 40,000 games amongst the 66,000 players every year in Victoria. I'd like to start by saying thank you very much for your ongoing commitment, and your presence here today is an indication of your devotion and dedication to becoming a better referee and a more professional referee. Since becoming a very poor referee myself over the last few years, I've come to appreciate the challenges that referees have, certainly as a player and as a coach and as a parent. Understanding how referees make their decisions isn't always immediately obvious, particularly in controversial circumstances. So I can't help but respect the difficult role that you do have, not only in taking responsibility and making those decisions, but also conducting yourself in a way that leads to the game continuing in a professional and respectful manner. It's the experience of the parents and the players that is critical and has been at the heart of the growth of our sport. It really can't be underestimated, and I acknowledge and know that referees don't often receive that credit, but just on behalf of those that have been involved in the game for a very long time. I would like to acknowledge that and thank you for that. I'd also like to acknowledge the contribution of a couple of people, in particular Frank Azzato as chair of the referees committee and his hard-working committee. In addition to that, the branch leaders, the considerable work that you do is appreciated once again, and at the FFE we'll do all we can to support you, to try and, to the extent that it's possible, make your contributions as easy to manage as possible, albeit under trying circumstances. I'd also like to acknowledge Luke and Chris in particular for setting a standard and a culture amongst referees, which I can't help but admire. Of all the departments within the organisation, I'm constantly reminded and recognise the professionalism and the standards which are set in the organisation. And I know David and Stephen too are absolutely committed to that, and that reflects in the way in which we go about our business as far as FFE is concerned in the referee domain. Finally, I have to accept and support the phrase that was introduced to me firstly by Chris a couple of years ago, and I've come to observe. Good refereeing makes for good football, but great refereeing makes for great football, and there can be nothing truer than that statement. And that applies both at the highest level, as well as the community level, and even the mini-roos. It's a critical role, and thank you very much once again for your devotion to that. So I'll conclude by introducing you to Maxwell. Maxwell has joined the FFB as our CEO, Chief Executive Officer, having spent some time with the FFB over the previous years, and then Chief Executive of Basketball ACT. He now returns to Victoria in the beautiful game. And I know Maxwell has an abiding personal interest in referees, and in particular the importance of our structures and governance around the way in which we conduct our games. And so I think that'll be a tremendous support for the referees department and for your own career pathways. So Maxwell, no further ado, I'll introduce you and thank you very much. Enjoy the day.
So good morning everyone, and Kimon, thank you very much for the introduction. It feels a little bit like Star Wars or Star Trek with all the computer screens, but you can see everyone above there. So Marcel, I'm delighted to be back home in Melbourne on two fronts, both at home in Melbourne, but also back home in football, the beautiful game. You know, I thank the board and for giving me the ability to lead Football Federation Victoria's Chief Executive Officer. It's more than an honour, it's a charge to keep, and I'll give it my all. You know, I'm committed to leading a federation that's excellent on and off the pitch, engaged with all the football stakeholders and the wider Victorian community, and also a federation that's accessible to all. And referees play a very integral part of that. You know, as Kimon said in his remarks there, that good refereeing equals good football, but even better refereeing is even better football. So without the depth and breadth of quality refereeing, we're not going to be able to take a beautiful game up to the level that we should be able to. In my absence, I was delighted to hear and see that refereeing continued to grow, develop and prosper. In no small part, thanks to Luke, Chris, David and Stephen, that referees department. In 2016 there was over 1,250 registered referees, which was a substantial 9% growth from the year before, and a 30% increase over the last 2 years. And for the first time, over 1,000 active referees as well. So well done to the team there. Refereeing, I'm told, is for anyone, anywhere, at any age, at any time. And in many respects, so it should be. If we're at the FIFA World Cup, referees are often referred to as the 33rd team. Might be a bit higher later on, depending on how many teams participate in the World Cup in ensuing years. But notwithstanding, it really underpins the integral role that referees and match officials, play in our great game. It's a beautiful game. In a manner somewhat similar to Kimon, I'd like to thank and acknowledge all Victorian referee branches which are now operating under the new management structure, allowing the FFE to better support referees across the state. You know, I talked about some remarks there about being a federation that's excellent, engaged and accessible, but not just for our metropolitan stakeholders, but also for our regional stakeholders out there, another area very close to my heart. So special thank you to all those who've come, not from Metro Melbourne, but from regional areas. I'd also like to acknowledge each and every person who volunteers in branch positions and for their work in logistics, supporting and educating our referees, without whom we wouldn't be able to do the good work that we do. You know, I also talked there about being excellent, engaged and accessible. So I personally commit myself to that as opposed to just the federation overall. I have an open door policy, or at least figuratively speaking, sometimes it's going to be physically closed. But, you know, I welcome people to reach out, to provide feedback, good, bad, or just to talk about football. There, and I look forward to continuing to work with each and every one of you in the times ahead. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present today, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.
You guys up the back, can you hear me okay? Yeah. Thank you. I just wanted us to take a moment today, everyone. Over the past 12 months since we gathered together for the referee seminar, we lost three really valuable members of the refereeing family, two of whom were life members. So I'd like to invite you all now to just stand where you are and just observe a minute of silence in memory of Tony Beasley, Jill McDermott and Linda Williams, who were with us this year. I'd like to just take a moment just to acknowledge their contributions to that. Thank you. Okay. Now, I'd like to move on now to some important presentations I wanted to make today. I think it's important each year that we acknowledge the guys who are going to represent us at an international level. And I'd like to call Eugene Ghazali from FFA to come forward. Many of you guys will remember Eugene. He's a Victorian referee at heart and is now the FFA Elite Referees Coach, looking after all the A-League, W League and NWL referees. And I'd like him to present badges to two people today. First, I'm going to ask Sean Evans to come forward. I think I can remember many years ago in these circumstances myself. It's a real honour to come forward and receive your first FIFA badge. This will be Sean's first year on the FIFA International. So Sean. Second of all, I'd like to also invite George Labrindis, who is on the FIFA Assistant Referees panel for 2017. George. Joining us later today will also be Laura Moyer, and Kate Jackowitz won't be with us today, unfortunately. They've both been refereeing last night up in Coffs Harbour as part of the W League match that was up there, so they will be joining us later on this afternoon. That'll be Laura, sorry, but Kate's not able to be with us today. So it'll be great to present that and hear that in due course later on today when she arrives. one thing I do want to say to these gentlemen standing before us is that this appointment to the FIFA list is a real reflection of your commitment and your hard work. Together it also brings responsibilities as being role models for all of you people who sit before us today and every referee who graces the park in Australia and across the world. And I know these guys are going to go out there and give it their very, very best and represent us really well. So George and Sean, good luck guys. Looking forward to seeing you out in the park with the FIFA badge on and also on the week.
I'd just like to reiterate and echo the words that you've said, Luke, for these gentlemen and for Laura and for Kate. Achieving this status means that it's a reward for the hard work they've put in, an endless amount of effort and sacrifice and choices that they've made leads to this accolade, let's call it. But what it is also is just a new platform, and it's an opportunity now to rise above and more hard work and more effort and more concentration and resilience to actually use this platform to achieve even greater things and go on to represent not only your state but your country with pride. And I might take this opportunity also to acknowledge and congratulate Kate Jakovich, who, as we said, was refereeing Coffs Harbour last night. Yesterday we had through word from FIFA that Kate has been selected as a candidate for the 2019 Women's World Cup. Not only that, we have 4 other officials from Australia alongside Kate, Casey Reebok from Queensland as a referee, also Renee Coghill from Queensland, Alison Flynn from Canberra and Sarah Ho from New South Wales. So 5 female officials that are now amongst only 100 worldwide that are on the candidates list for 2019 World Cup in France. What a fantastic achievement by our female referees to have 5 candidates out of 100 worldwide, the most of any country within FIFA, number of candidates still vying for a spot for the 2019 World Cup. Now what that is a great incentive for all you young referees, particularly females, that you do have the level of coaching here in Australia and you do have the opportunities before you. So embrace that. Those of you that do want to achieve and go on to higher accolades, the world is your oyster. Thanks a lot.
Okay, so we're now going to move on to our third